loiterers to Australia. Like it was like real deal guys.
Well, see, that never made sense to me. They were so hardcore, but they were kind enough to put them on a boat and send them to a different hemisphere.
I think they just wanted to like have some sort of claim on it, because I was reading something that like they would take prisoners and be like, if you agree to marry a prostitute and move to Australia, you don't have to serve your sentence.
Oh.
And so it's like, okay, well, I guess I'll marry a prostitute and move to Australia.
We need to do that again with homeless.
No kidding.
Do we have
incels? Get that 300-pound guy, get him to shoplift a liquor store and give him a prostitute and ship him to Mars.
I was gonna huge homeless problem. I feel like there is. I sometimes can't.
There is.
No, it's
hear me.
And we could clean it up in a day if we really wanted to.
I've made mention of the year of the shark before a couple of times, right? Yeah, a little hunt them.
No, you poison them. You don't shoot them.
Jesus, you say tomato, I say tomato. So the year of the shark, there was this thing. It was like 7 years ago. Shark attacks were in the news constantly, all about these shark attacks. It turned out the numbers were, it was kind of an average year for shark attacks, but they made it seem like sharks were overtaking our beaches. Every time there was a shark fucking spotted in the water, there were like helicopters videotaping that there's sharks in the water. Yeah, there's lots of fish in the water. No fucking shit. Back to the homeless. Is there a huge homeless epidemic, growing population? There might be. I feel like I see it, but I don't know if I'm being programmed to see it. I can't tell if homeless is exploding or if homeless coverage is exploding.
It's insane in LA.
I wonder why COVID
has been.
I wonder why
it's
COVID
way
didn't get them.
worse.
Okay. Kyle, I keep talking over you. What did you say?
Why didn't COVID get them?
Because it's a hoax.
Because they weren't fat.
The homeless?
Yeah.
Because they weren't fat. I've seen a fat homeless guy before, and that is a conundrum.
How'd he pull that off?
I'm not giving that guy money.
So
he's fucking Sam Tarley, or
he's the donut king of 8th Street, or whatever the fuck.
He's Hugo from Lost.
So the homeless out here are in their tents, and they've got little like, you go through the underpasses and stuff. Atlanta's got a lot of like raised highways that make loop-de-loops in places, and like you go through these little isolated corners, and they'll just have a little jungle village set up with multiple tents and like ramshackle like tin lean-tos and like all sorts of nonsense. They are living out there continuously. There's a campfire and shit. It's absurd. And I see it everywhere.
America on the rise.
And you have to slow down to go through the curves, and I always think like, wow, they're just living right there. And on both sides too, like there's so many. And I know in LA, I remember the worst I've ever seen it was Seattle though. When we were walking, they call it the pier, the wharf, whatever the fuck. When you're coming up from down where those restaurants are on the water, going back into the city, we saw a herd of homeless that reminded me of a zombie movie. And then here in Atlanta, I remember when I was picking Chiz up from the bus station that one time, it was like feeding time at the bus station for the hobos, and they brought out this big food truck, and they knew they like
shatter pellets on the ground.
They start
white bread and seeds.
Get it. And
Jack Daniels balls of some sort.
They've got these styrofoam like lunch boxes, that like sealed together, like takeout.
That the homeless are terrified of.
They hate them. No, they're passing them out like left and right, and then the homeless are like eating fast as fuck and then throwing them like immediately to the ground. And so the whole park area right next to the bus station looks like that scene from Terminator 2. That scene from Terminator 2 when they're like warping into LA and trash is just blowing everywhere. That's what it looked like. And then like as soon as Chiz got off that bus, someone was like, "Yo, you want some weed, man?" It's like, I just got here.
But
we're in California.
But actually,
that's what I told him. I was like, we were in Georgia. Like we got in my car and I was like, "Did you get the weed, man?" He's like, "No." I was like, "Well, what the fuck? I only have so much at my house. I would have liked some weed from out here."
It's not even about that it's weed. It's like if that guy offered to sell me a sealed pack of Lay's, I'd say, "No, thank you. I'm going to go to Kroger for it or whatever." Like you just don't buy things from homeless people. That seems like an easy rule.
I don't trust homeless people. I never know. I've tried to be nice to them, and it's always backfired on me in one way or another. Remember that time when I don't remember exactly how it went down, but like I was at a gas station either late at night or off hours, and a homeless person was with me. And I think instead of money, I just told him I'd buy him coffee. because that's what he wanted. And I was like, yeah, man, get your fucking coffee and like bring it up here. You know, I'm checking out. You know, we're using my debit card. I can't give him cash, but yeah, I'll buy you a coffee. And the guy that works there is so pissed at me for like, because I'm like, yeah, he came in with me. He wanted a coffee, and he's like, oh. You got him making. Hurry up over there! I see what you're doing. And I look, and he's like getting like all the sugar and like all the cream, and he's getting this giant cup of coffee, and it's just like it's mostly cream. He's like ruining shit over there, like making a mess. and I'm like, he came in with me.
Yeah,
like,
you're
like,
responsible for this hoodlum.
If I weren't there, he'd have been shooed out because he obviously doesn't have money. Because I'm co-signing, I brought this cretin in with me.
I mean, like, that's an easy way. Like when I lived in the city a few years ago, like I started out like I'd give like a couple dollars here and there, and I quickly realized, because I lived like, you know, very populated area right above a restaurant, that I would just offer like, no, I don't have any money, I'll get you a sandwich though. And 95% of the time the response is like, hell no. It's like no. Like there was this one midget who I bought him a sandwich a few times because he was always down. I'd be like, hey, you want a sandwich? And he was always like, yeah. So I would get him a sandwich. But everybody else I would talk to, he might be the only guy, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, that ever took sandwiches. Everyone else was like, no, they just wanted money.
Yeah. My girlfriend gave a salad to a homeless guy one time, and he threw it at her. That's what you deserve. Like, what the fuck? If you gave me a salad, can you imagine that? Some fucking skinny bitch giving you a salad.
You think I'm gonna diet? You think I'm gonna diet, you bitch?
Dude, I want to start a charity that feeds the homeless, but it's only atomic warheads.
Or how about like
homeless person
just give them Happy Meals where like that bank account, that stolen money explodes on their face when they open it up. Like, you got. The homeless are so bad here. They're building plywood under the freeways in Hollywood, like plywood structures. Probably not up to code.
Yeah, don't judge.
Probably not.
They've covered the whole sidewalk, so like handicapped people have to go into the street to get around them now.
I bet they act like indignant when a homeless or when a crippled person tries to get by.
Oh yeah, they've got their own little civilizations under the overpasses now with porta potties and stuff. And then there's like on the off ramps in Pasadena, they'll have these like luxurious hobo spreads, like their own little commune. And then there's guys in the houses that people stopped building on in my neighborhood. There's one or two. There's like secret hobo areas where they're like sneaking in. And I really want to just like fuck up all the good homeless people's spots by going into the shitty like homeless slums and like just ferrying them like, look, I'm fucking really annoyed at the homeless people in my neighborhood who think they're getting away with it. So I want to cram you in there just to fuck up their time and get rid of them. I don't know why I'm so possessive over it, because I feel like we're kind of living in the same place.
They need to, because like I hear about these homeless in Seattle and Portland and LA, like in those areas you're talking about, the nice little areas. They need to ship out some St. Louis homeless people to those areas, because the homeless here in the city of St. Louis are murderers. They're not veterans. They're murderers. They're crazy people.
So many homeless.
People get assaulted like walking back to their car from like sports games all the time. The second like a Blues game's over, it's like the whole crowd is like, even away fans are like, all right, and step. Like everybody is moving in a block trying to get safely down the street. Like it is a St. Louis, it's their home, but it's a failed city. It's a failed city. Like this, they will never come back. It is a trashy, shitty hellhole that's dirty and dangerous. It's a shame, but it's done. It's done. If it weren't for professional sports, if it weren't for the Cardinals and Blues, no one would go there. No one.
It's great here.
Jobs in there?
Not any jobs you couldn't get a better version of out
crime
in the county.
Scene cleanup mostly.
And like.